This video can serve as some relaxing background noise to help your brain rest. The book that I will be reading from tonight is called Caring for Our Children. It is shrink wrapped, so I first need to open it up. Let me grab it. Okay, let's open it up. This book on page 1 says, Caring for Our Children, National Health and Safety Performance Standards, Guidelines for Early Care and Education Programs, 3rd edition. It was a joint collaborative project. I am going to flip to when it starts. These are all just the table of contents. This is a pretty big book. Okay, let's begin with the introduction. Every day, millions of children attend early care and education programs. It is critical that they have the opportunity to grow and learn in healthy and safe environments with caring and professional caregivers and teachers. Following health and safety best practices is an important way to provide quality care and education for young children. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Public Health Academy, and the National Resource Center for Health and Safety in Childcare and Early Education are pleased to release the 3rd edition of Caring for Our Children, National Health and Safety Performance Standards, Guidelines for Early Care and Education Programs. These national standards represent the best evidence, expertise, and experience in the country on quality health and safety practices and policies that should be followed in today's early care and education Safety Performance Standards Guidelines for Out-of-Home Child Care Programs. The publication was the product of a 5-year national project funded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration, Maternal and Child Health Bureau. This comprehensive set of health and safety standards was a response to many years of effort by advocates for quality child care. In 1976, Aronson and Piso recommended development and use of national health and safety standards as part of a report to Congress in association with the Federal Interagency Daycare Requirements Appropriateness Study. In the years that followed, experts repeatedly reaffirmed the need for these standards. For example, while the work to prepare for caring for our children was underway, the work to prepare of the National Research Council's report for Who Cares for America's Children Child Care Policy for the 1990s called for uniform national child care standards. Subsequently, a second edition of Caring for Our Children was published in 2002, addressing new knowledge generated by increasing research and health and safety in early care and education programs. The increased use of the standards, both in practical on-site application and in research documents, the value of the standards and validates the importance of keeping the standards up to date. Caring for Our Children has been a yardstick for measuring what has been done and what still needs to be done, as well as a technical manual on how to do it. Okay, let's take a look at this third section, review process. The Maternal and Child Health Bureau's continuing funding since 1995 of a National Resource Center for Health and Safety in Child Care and Early Education at the University of Colorado College of Nursing supported the work to coordinate the development of the second and third editions. The revision of the standards for the third edition of Caring for Our Children was an extensive process. The third edition benefited from the contribution of 86 technical experts in the field of health and safety in early care and education. Reviews and recommendations were received from 184 stakeholder individuals, those representing consumers of the information and organizations representing major constituents of the early care and education community. Caregivers, teachers, parents, guardians, families, healthcare professionals, safety specialists, early childhood educators, early care and education advocates, regulators, and federal, military, and state agencies all brought their expertise and experience to the revision process. A complete listing of the steering committee, lead organizations, reviewers, technical panel members, and stakeholder contributors appears on the acknowledgement page. The process of revising the standards and the consensus building was organized in stages. Number 1, technical panel chairs recruited members members to their panels and reviewed the standards from the second edition, using the best evidence available, which are peer-reviewed scientific studies, published reports, and best practice information. They removed standards that were no longer applicable or out of date, identified those that were still applicable in their original or in a revised form, and formulated many new standards that were deemed appropriate and necessary. Number 2, telephone conference calls were convened among technical panel chairs to bring consensus on standards that bridge several technical areas. Number 3, a draft of these revised standards was sent to a national and state constitution of stakeholders for their comments and suggestions. Number 4, this feedback was subsequently reviewed and considered by the technical panels, and a decision was made to further revise or not to revise a standard. It should be noted that the National Review called attention to many important points of view and new information for additional discussion and debate. Number 5, the edited standards were then sent to review teams of the AAP, the APHA, and the MCHB. Final copy was approved by the steering committee representing the 4 organizations, AAP, APHA, and RC and MCHB. In projects of this scope and magnitude, the end product is only as good as the persons who participate in the effort. It is hard to enumerate in this introduction the countless hours of dedication and effort from contributors and reviewers. The project owes each of them a huge debt of gratitude. Their reward will come when high-quality early care and education services become available to all children and their families. Wow, okay. The next section is called Overview of Content and Format Changes. So let's take a look. Caring for Our Children, the 3rd edition, contains 10 chapters of 686 standards and 39 appendices. We have made the following significant content and format changes in the 3rd edition. Total of 58 new standards and 15 new appendices. Develops new and revised standards in all areas. Some key areas of change include use of early childhood mental health consultants and early education consultants, monitoring children's development and obtaining consent for screening, positive behavior management, limiting screen time, promoting physical activity, swaddling, healthy eating, including MyPlate, the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA new primary food icon, encouraging breastfeeding, hand sanitizer, sun safety and sunscreen, integrated pest management, influence and control, and environmentally friendly settings, and use of least toxic products. Updated and added new appendices, including care plan for children with special health care needs, helmet safety, helping children in foster care make successful transitions, medication administration forms, a poster on encouraging breastfeeding in early care and education settings, authorization for emergency medical and dental care, healthier eating as shown in the USDA MyPlate, which replaces MyPyramid to support healthier food choices. For the list of new and significantly revised standards and appendices, see these pages. See the table of contents for a list of all appendices. Created new numbering system to differentiate the 3rd edition standards from the 2nd edition. See appendices L, L, and MM for conversion charts of the numbering system. Updated references for the rationale and comment sections and moved the references to be placed with the standard instead of the back of the chapter. Added related standard at the bottom of each standard for easy referral. The next section says requirements of other organizations. We recognize that many many organizations have requirements and recommendations that apply to out-of-home early care and education. For example, the National Association for the Education of Young Children, otherwise known as NAEYC, publishes requirements for developmentally appropriate practice and accreditation of child care centers. Head Start follows performance standards. The AAP has many standards related to child health. The U.S. Department of Defense has standards for military child care. The Office of Child Care, or the OOC, produces health and safety standards for tribal child care. The National Fire Protection Association has standards for fire safety in child care settings. The Office of Child Care administers the Child Care and Developmental Fund, which provides funds of states to territories and tribes to assist low-income families receiving temporary public assistance and those transitioning from public assistance in obtaining child care so that they can work or attend training/education. Caregivers, teachers serving children funded by CCDF must meet basic health and safety requirements set by states and tribes. All of these are valuable resources, as are many excellent state publications. By addressing health and safety as an integrated component of early care and education, contributors of caring for our children have made every effort to ensure that these standards are consistent with and complement other child care experts and recommendations. That got us through 4 sections of the beginning page, and I think it's a great spot to stop. I'm going to take my bookmark and slide it right in. Close up the book and put it back on my shelf. Thank you for listening. I hope your brain feels a little bit better. Until next time.